Hey, welcome back to the Unbiased Room. We got a special guest today, my boy Ryan. I'll let him introduce himself.
Well, like my man said, I'm Ryan. We met in the Navy, so I'm obviously also a Navy vet. I grew up in Texas, in an Aggie family, and I don't really care for that. We don't like that nonsense. Then I graduated from Florida State, so a little bit of divided loyalties there. But Texas in my heart. I also married a Gamecock cheerleader, so it gets wild around here sometimes. But I'm
Yeah,
a Texas boy through and through.
that's good. And that's exactly what we're here to talk about, man. We're here to talk Texas football. We're going to start off with the Ohio State game that, still hurts the heart a little bit. So, what are your thoughts on that game?
You know, it doesn't really hurt my heart. Um, Ohio State is one of the premier teams in the nation, just like we expect Texas to be. And we came up short. And when you go against the best of the best, you're not always going to come out on top. I mean, the things that we fell short on against Ohio State, I think are definitely workable and can be improved upon. And that was the first game of the season. It's going to be the worst one too. So I
Yeah,
don't really feel that bad about it. I mean, we lost by one score in the shoe. That's all
you're
right.
right.
That's all right. If you had told me that before the game, I'd have been like, okay. Now, given the offensive output that we saw, I would have liked a little bit better execution. But the end result, a win's a win and a loss is a loss.
Yeah, I'd only say it hurt my heart just because of that point. The offensive output was so poor. I think it had to do something a little bit with Steve Sarkisian's play calling. He wasn't his normal self, even though I think he had 8 months to prepare for this game, and I think that his famous opening script, right, that everybody likes to talk about, it didn't have the meat and potatoes that it normally has. Arch missed a lot of easy throws, receivers running wide open, and he was off target. And I mentioned this earlier. We talked off screen, but Arch was like 4 for 12, like on off target throws, meaning 8 of those 12 throws weren't even catchable balls for the receivers, which is, I mean, that's crazy.
Yeah, I remember when we were talking, I mentioned that he had more completions in his commercials than he did on the field by that point. But
Yeah,
it looked to
yeah,
me like Arch was just too fired up. Like the kid is not bad at football. He doesn't have lousy mechanics. We saw all this last season. He didn't suddenly forget. If you look at it, when you get too amped up and you're in that environment and you want to make the play, you want to be the guy. That's where things start to shut down, right? Like your feet aren't set. You're slinging that thing like Uncle Rico. It's fixable. It's
yeah,
fixable. I agree. The play calling left a lot to be desired. In the fourth quarter, I think we finally turned it loose some, and it
yeah.
showed. Why weren't we doing that the whole game?
Interesting point. Sark is such a screen heavy, motion heavy play caller. It took him 17 plays until he called his first screen pass, which is, I mean, that's crazy. When we played Bama last year, I want to say that was like the third play, not last year, year before last. Um, that was like the third play of the game. When we
Mm,
played Michigan, it was the first play of the game.
mm.
When we played Alabama the first time when they came to Austin, it was the second play of the game. So in these big games, he is calling screenplays and he's calling, 6, 7, 8, 9 of them a game. But I just didn't think, I'm like, why hasn't he called a screen pass yet, man, to get Arch comfortable, to get him, you know, in the good feels, man, to build that confidence.
You know, we ran the ball a lot, and it wasn't like complicated. It was just straight ahead running, and to that point, we were effective. We
Yes.
ran the ball very well on Ohio State, and maybe it's a maybe it's a thing where Sark's, the first couple scripted plays, because he's also got to test out the running back room. He's got Baxter back from injury. Wisner is a proven commodity, but you want to see what he's got too in that environment. So maybe the first couple of plays when they're decent gains, he's like, all right, let me lay that hammer down, and just see what we can do with that. You know, I don't think it helped that the first play, Arch's pass, was a basketball bounce pass, I think to Wingo, off the turf, when
Which
he
he was
was
wide open.
wide open, wide open. That
Yeah.
could have been a score. So,
Yeah. He
maybe he
only
saw
had
in
one
that
guy to beat.
moment, my guy's a little too fired up. Let's just run the ball on the
Yeah.
road in a hostile environment. I don't know. I'm not Sark. If I was, I wouldn't be doing this podcast with you. But
Facts.
but the play calling was strange. The play calling was strange, and it was crazy to me that Sark gets a lot of credit as being this offensive mastermind, and some of the plays he comes up with are terrific. That like triple reverse against Florida last season was crazy, crazy,
Insane.
crazy, right? That's the kind of stuff that we expect from him, but
Yeah.
maybe it's the timing of it. Maybe he's holding those back and then he loses control. Maybe it's the lack of an OC. I don't know. I don't know what it is, but the play calling to me did definitely leave a lot to be desired.
Yeah. You see coaches that are play callers. Ryan Day, for instance, right? Last year, he finally gave up the reins to calling the plays and hired Chip Kelly and then won a national championship. So,
Yeah.
What is it going to take? And listen, I'm no expert, like you said, man. Sark has forgotten more football than I'll ever know,
Yeah,
right?
Sark's doing a podcast right now, so he's
Yeah,
bigger time than we are for sure.
100%. Um, but yeah, it left a lot to be desired, man. Maybe he needs to give up those play calling duties, right? And I don't want to get too deep in like our red zone struggles, but we could go down a rabbit hole about that. We could spend a whole podcast just talking about our red zone struggles and why we are so ineffective. But I want to just move on. We got this loss, right? It's not going to hurt us in the end, right? We still have SEC play. So let's get into our schedule a little bit, right? So Saturday we play San Jose State. They come to us. I mean, if we don't put up 52 on these guys,
Sorry, I just had that moment from Varsity Blues in my mind. And Saturday we beat San Jose State.
yeah, yeah,
So yeah, I
yeah,
think I think that's a good dessert, from the vegetables that we just had to swallow down.
yeah,
That'll be a more of a get our offense in sync and on board with the plan and in rhythm type of game than, first time we're all in the field together getting thrown into the lion's den.
yeah. I agree. After that, two more just confidence building games: UTEP and Sam Houston.
Yeah, we're eating. Got to eat. And as I understand it, that's the SEC way. So, with the schedule that we have, I don't necessarily hate it. As long as we get that one premier out of conference matchup, and Texas has always been good about that since we were in the Big 12. We had the last time we played Ohio State in Columbus, we won a national title. And Lima Sweet caught that pass from Vince Young. You know what I'm talking about. Yeah, you do.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So, we got that game. It kind of shows the nation who we are, and then we go into the grind mode. And whoever's after that, it's whatever. I don't feel any kind of way about it. I expect those to be wins. I expect those to
Yeah.
be handy wins.
Mm-hmm.
I expect Arch to show out.
Yes, I agree. We have that Saturday off, September 27th, right? So we got that bye. And then we are going down to the swamp to face the Gators. This team there's a question mark. Obviously, they first game of the season was, I think, Rhode Island, something terrible, who they just dominated. But I don't know.
Long Island. Did you know Long Island had a
Oh, Long
college?
Island. Yeah.
Long Island. Yeah.
Oh, Long and I Rhode Island. See, I knew
Yeah.
some island, right? I knew it was a terrible team and they won the game, right?
Yeah.
Um, but the Florida Gators, man, are they going to be healthy when Texas comes to town? Um, DJ Lagway, he's an injury prone guy. Will he be available for that game? Who knows?
I think you will. I think you don't want to miss a game like Texas on your schedule. I mean, we are still Texas. When we were
Yep.
going 5-7, we were still Texas, and people brought their A game to push us down farther into the dirt. So, unless something catastrophic happens to the kid, and I hope not, I don't see him being out. I don't. I hate Florida. Being a Florida State graduate, we don't do that Gator stuff in this household. So I'm looking forward to that game. It's a tough game.
Yes.
The Swamp is not an easy place to go get a road win in.
No.
As dilapidated and rickety and full of horrible people as it is, it's still a top tier, intimidating environment in college football, and Florida's not going to be a bad team.
No.
I don't remember exact the score last year. I remember it was closer than I wanted it to be. I think it was like what 1-2 score game.
You talking about when we played them last year?
Yes, sir.
No, no, no. We murdered them last year.
Was it?
Yeah, 49-17.
Boy, I must be thinking of something else. Well, I also don't expect to. I also don't expect a repeat of that. Florida is going to be
No.
improved. I have zero
Yeah.
faith in Billy Napier, though. That guy can absolutely steal defeat from the jaws of success, and Lagway is very good, but still kind of raw to me at
Still kind
least.
of raw.
I think he hasn't quite ironed it all out yet, and that's also why he's injury prone, because he does things that a starting quarterback maybe shouldn't do or should rethink, and then gets himself dinged here and there. So uh,
Well, I'll tell you what, they don't have it easy prior to playing us. They have South Florida, who looks legit from game
yeah, they do.
one.
They do.
Yeah, and then they have LSU, and yeah, who was going to be a dogfight, and they go to LSU, so they're at Death Valley.
That's a loss. That's a loss.
Yeah, and
I
then
can't
they
see them
played
pulling that game
Miami.
out. What a
So
hate
they
watch.
have they have three they have three tough matches prior to getting us, and we got three easy cakewalks, right? So what Florida team we gonna get? Are they gonna be beat up and bruised up? And I think if they are able to remain healthy, which I highly doubt, that whole team highly doubt that, they're gonna have some struggles when they play us, man, because we're gonna be fresh as baby shit, man. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I agree. That's a slate, man. And I think, last year, didn't Florida have the toughest schedule in college football? And then,
Yes.
with the SEC scheduling how it goes, they just flipped the home and away. So for them, it didn't really change. They still got a murderer's row this year.
Yep.
And yeah, those are all high intensity games that you want to win.
Yep.
I can't imagine being a Florida fan, but in their eyes, I would imagine like you want to win those games just as bad as you want to beat Texas. So that's going to be tough. And I honestly don't know how it's going to happen. I don't think they're going to come out of those unfazed. I think some of those, perhaps all of them, could be losses potentially, but that could sharpen the team up to come home and get a Texas team that, historically has played down to its competition. So
Yeah.
there is potential here for these three cupcakes that we've got coming up to kind of dull the edge a little bit and make that more of a game that it needs to be. I think Texas is easily the better team and should handle Florida, home or away. But college football doesn't happen in a vacuum, and
No.
I still have the PTSD from Charlie Strong and Tom Herman, where you've got like New Mexico State by one touchdown in the third or fourth quarter. So
Yeah.
um, we'll see.
or
We'll see
just
how
or
it
just
goes.
losing to Maryland in back-to-back years. Yeah,
I don't even know why you had
PTSD.
to say that, bro. Yeah, that hurts my heart more than losing
I
to
know
Ohio
that was
State. Those
just
Maryland losses.
losing to
But yeah, I
basketball
mean, I
schools.
think I expect Florida to be a win. I expect it to be a tough win, but I expect it to be a win. You know, I'm looking at maybe a 24-10 type of game. I don't think that we're going to blow up out there, but the defense has been absolutely lights out so far.
They're so good. Our
And
defense is so good.
they're so good. They're so good.
Yeah.
And I think that can get us, you know, where we need to go because the offense stuff just needs to be ironed out, and it can be, and especially by the time we get to Florida. So I think that's a win. I think it's a comfortable win, but not a blowout win.
I agree. And of course, you know what game was after that, man? Red River.
But fuck
I know. Fuck those guys.
them.
So we'll be playing a revamped OU team, man, who has a, you know, John Mateer transferred from, I want to say, Washington State. He also brought
Washington State.
his offensive coordinator with him, Ben Arbuckle. So I watched a little bit of John Mateer in the game this past weekend, and he did some nice things, and he also did some boneheaded things. He had, I think, I want to say he had either had one or two interceptions, versus the bad team. So
It was Illinois State, right?
yeah, what is he gonna
Yeah.
do versus?
Bloomington's finest.
What is he gonna do versus Texas? I mean, I seen Oklahoma offense struggle. They put up 21 points fast and kind of just struggled, you know, the next 4 or 5 ensuing drives after that, and then they finally put some more points on the board. Um, what do you think of that game?
Um, I think OU sucks. OU has always sucked, and OU will always suck. Um, no, I mean Mateer is a decent quarterback. Again, he's got some fundamental issues that can be ironed out, and you know I never trust that game. OU Texas. It
Yeah,
doesn't matter how bad OU is. Doesn't matter how bad Texas is. Charlie Strong beat OU.
he did.
He did. He won the Golden Hat. So, you know,
Yep.
shout out to him for that and nothing else. But um, I don't expect, you know, again, the talent differential there is massive. They're revamped, but they're not, it's not a good team. You know,
Mm-mm.
Jaden Ott is a decent running back
He transferred.
from Cal, right?
Yeah, but I thought he was out for the season.
Is he out for the season?
I think so,
I
man.
pay as little attention to Oklahoma football as I can. I just
Yeah, I
know
have to.
that he transferred in.
Yeah, I thought he was hurt. No, maybe not.
Well, it don't make a shit, as Daryl Roy used to say. Um, but yeah, man, fuck them. Texas by a
Yeah,
million,
yeah. Fuck those guys.
a million, illion. I mean, I don't expect, honestly, my unbiased opinion here. Shout out to you. Is
Yeah.
you know, I don't expect 34-3 again, but maybe 42-10.
Okay.
35-13, you know, a more comfortable edging on of a blowout win, because again the talent is not equal in any way, shape, or form at anywhere across the board.
No.
Did you hear they docked Venables $1 million a year to go to NIL?
Oh. Well, they might not have to dock him too much longer if OU doesn't do well this year because he will be out of a job.
I need them to win every other game so that they can extend him because he's wonderful. He's great for Oklahoma football in all of the ways that I appreciate.
Yeah.
So no, yeah, I don't know how that's going to go. I don't know how long they have the stomach for it. I don't know how long or how deep the pockets are to stomach a buyout like that. But yeah, he's not the answer there. And yeah, he just took $1 million pay cut from his salary to further fund NIL in
See how
Norman,
that's going to work out for
Oklahoma.
them. Yeah.
I mean, you can see what they're paying guys to go to Lubbock, which is crazy, but it's
Just
Lubbock.
crazy. Just
And
crazy.
I've been to Norman. Have you been to Norman, Oklahoma?
No.
It fucking sucks. You
I'm
know,
not missing out on
the
anything.
closest civilization is Oklahoma City, and
Okay.
Oklahoma City sucks too. Shout out to anybody who watches this from Oklahoma City. You suck too. Everything about Oklahoma sucks. Fuck your team. Fuck your coach. Fuck your players. Yeah, Texas by a million.
Texas by a million.
Yeah,
I'm just gonna skip the next two games because we're at Kentucky and at Mississippi State. Not worried about either of those games.
shouldn't be
Kentucky is rebuilding. Um, Actually, they had a good defense last year. They had, I don't know, like 4 players get drafted off that defense last year, but
something
they're
like
not
that, and
there.
then yeah,
And Mississippi State is Mississippi
God love
State.
them. God
Yeah,
love Mississippi
more
State and
cowbell.
those stupid, more cowbell. No, God,
Yes, less cowbell.
less cow. There'll never be less cowbell, but man, yeah. I mean,
Yeah,
they're good people out there.
yeah,
I hear the tailgating's nice in Starkville.
yeah. I drove through once. Decent looking town. Decent
Is
looking
it?
town. Yeah, yeah. I drove through.
I've gone through Mississippi a couple of different ways, and I've never seen Starkville. So
Yeah,
I mainly stuck to the civilized part. So I don't
yeah.
know, but I hear good things about the people there and the tailgating scene. I hear awful things through the broadcast whenever there's a game plan there. That cowbell thing is
Yeah.
crazy. It's like the Aggies with their ball count in the
Oh,
College
yeah.
World Series, and they're just yelling the whole time nonsense. Yeah, it's just oh god, it's irritating. But God love Mississippi State. Shout out to y'all.
Shout out to them. Then we have Vandy coming to town Saturday, November the 1st. Diego Pavia. I don't think they are going to be what they were last year. Not a chance. He's going to have that fall from grace. I think we beat the crap out of them.
I think
Throwing
two
it out
things
there.
can be true at the same time. I agree that we will step on their necks in Austin. I do think they're going to be the same as last year because last year they were mid-tier, right? Vandy was not an elite team, but they were not the doormat that everybody in the SEC wipes their boots on before they walk inside. And I
Yeah.
think they'll be that again. I think Pavia is enough to will them to some wins that they shouldn't get, like Alabama last year. They almost beat Tennessee, who went to the playoffs. So I think they'll play spoiler again to a couple of teams. Diego
Alabama, watch
Pavia's
out.
no Alabama's gonna get stomped by Vandy this year. Come on now. We can talk about that game.
Alabama, watch out.
But
That game's at
yeah,
Bryant Denny.
Pavia's built like me, and he's just a maniac, and that translates sometimes, and sometimes it doesn't. With a poorly disciplined team who's relying on just getting out of your skull motivated to make a play or something like that, you can win that matchup. But with an elite defense that's well coached and following protocol, you're only going to get so much. And they made it a decent game last year, and that was on the road, and they had come off of that big win, and that was a good moment for me because they were like, "We want Texas," and I was like, "I used to dream of days like this."
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
But
We should
yeah,
have blown them out. Penalties hurt us in that game.
yeah.
Had 2 interceptions overturned.
Any damn way.
Yeah.
But yeah, so as far as the game on the first, I don't expect that to be as competitive. By that time, Texas is halfway through the SEC schedule. We've built on the Ohio State loss. We feasted on some small times. We played some real competition in Florida, and we beat the hell out of OU. And then went on the road for 2 games, so we get a homestand against Vandy. I think it lines up. Excuse me, for a Vandy stomping. Yeah. I don't think
Yeah.
that it'll be ugly, but again, maybe like 35-10, something like that. They'll get a couple on us just because again, Pavia's a maniac, but
Yes.
the talent again doesn't compare.
And then we have a good old bye week before we take our talents to Athens,
Hmm.
Georgia, Sanford Stadium, Saturday, November 15th to take on the Georgia Bulldogs. My thoughts. It's going to be a competitive game. I do not have faith in Gunnar Stockton. I know all the Georgia Bulldog fans are going to say, "Oh, he came in and beat y'all last year." Blah blah blah. They won because we had fucking Bert Arbin who couldn't hit the fucking side of a fucking barn. Okay, terrible field goal kicker, who's now at Miami, and he's the backup kicker at Miami, which is
Boy, he sure is.
insane.
Shout shout
Um,
out to Bert the Gert.
yeah, yeah. So he's there. Yeah, he's the reason why we lost that game.
Mm.
Again, if the running game and the defense they travel, and I don't see why we don't go into Athens and get a win.
Yeah, so I live smack in the middle of Bulldog country here in Lawrenceville, Georgia, and they're high on the Bulldogs, like they are every year, and why shouldn't they be? Georgia has been the flag bearer for not only the SEC but college football for a good while. But I'm kind of with you. Like they looked good against Directional State University, whoever it was they played yesterday,
Mm-hmm.
and what again, that doesn't really show us anything as far as what your team is capable of. Gunnar Stockton, um, at this point in the season, I'm with you. I don't buy, but I haven't seen enough. I need to see him, and he's going to have plenty of chances before Texas comes in to prove himself.
Oh yeah,
So we'll see how that handles out. I don't necessarily with this Georgia team see them coming into that Texas game unblemished, but I have this weird feeling that for Georgia we are their Bama, right? So like we can beat everybody else, but for some reason we just can't beat them.
yeah.
Like
That may be the case, man. That may be the
and
case.
and maybe it's the budding of a big rivalry, and I'm into that. Like I said, I grew up in an Aggie family, so I'm ready to dish it out and take it at any time. So Bulldog here fans here can catch both hands. Um, but Georgia's going to be a good view. They're going to have a good defense. They're going to have a
Always.
decent running game. You can count on that. I think that Stockton is more mobile than Beck was,
Yes.
who runs like he hasn't grown into his body yet. I don't know if you watched that game last night or not, but it's bizarre.
Yeah.
Bizarre. I don't understand that kid at all. But anyway, um, they're going to be decent. They're going to be good. They're going to be at home. I don't. I I don't buy into the argument that Sanford Stadium is really like this big intimidating environment, because I've heard it compared from non Georgia fans as being more of like the old Texas games used to be. The wine and crackers crowd,
Yeah.
and the student section will get rowdy, but the game is the game, and they're there to be seen and enjoy the Saturday. So we'll see. I could be wrong. Depending on my work schedule, I may try and make it up to Athens for that game. Also, depending on how the Longhorns look, because if we drop a couple of these games and just bottom out this season, I'm not enduring that whooping in front of everybody. Um, but that's a game where I feel like we can win. We should win. I can easily see how we lose that game too. If it's another game where Arch comes out and loses his head and forgets his mechanics, forgets how to throw, starts kicking his leg out and side arming it again. yeah, we're going to lose to Georgia in Athens. I mean,
Yeah.
we have to be able to generate offense because they're going to get some points.
Hmm.
So, I don't want to say toss up, but that's kind of a toss up for me. With the way that we've performed against Georgia, I could see it going either way.
Yeah, I'm with you. And even if we did take that loss, that would have us at what, 8-2, going into our last two games of SEC play, and that'll have us, 5-1 in SEC play. Heading to play, well, home game against Arkansas, which that's going to be easy win. I'm not too stoked about what they're doing over there. Taylor Green, their quarterback, will be back, but he's a non-issue to me. Like I said, our defense is phenomenal. I think they do nothing. But of course, the day after Thanksgiving, classic fashion, you know, the house that you grew up in, the Aggie house. We play these fucking guys. What are you thinking?
I think that Aggies will always Aggie. The natural place of an Aggie is to Aggie, and they're going to Aggie it up.
Yeah,
If there was a chance to win the game against Texas, it was last season.
yeah.
Um, you didn't score an offensive touchdown. No, and I was surprised that we came up with that goal line stand because that's typically not really our forte. But Ethan Burke with the Superman there, shout
Yeah.
out to him. Love that play still. Brings a smile on my
Mm-hmm.
face.
Every time.
Aggies struggled, this weekend with UTSA, who I'm really not going to disparage because we struggled against UTSA in the past.
Jeff
Um,
Traylor's a hell of a coach.
that we know, right?
Yeah.
So, yeah, no, UTSA is not an awful team, but the Aggie delusion is that they're going to go 12-0 every year, and not only is the SEC title theirs, they're going to win the national championship, and they probably beat whoever won the Super Bowl as well. So we're going to beat A&M at home. Um, they're going to go 8-4 because that's what they do, and things are the way that they are in the world. Water is wet, and the sun is in the sky, and Aggies are going to go 8-4 and lose to Texas.
I agree. I agree. So of course that has us going to the SEC championship, barring what happens with other teams, and
Okay.
that's making the playoffs again. Um, so let's talk numbers for a second, man, before we get out of here. I think Trey Wisner rushes for 1,000 yards again this season. I also think that uh Indris, the tight end, I think he has 650 receiving yards,
I bet the over
eight
on that.
eight touchdowns. Take the over on that,
I take the
and
over
then
on
I'm
that.
and then I'm gonna go Arch. Even though his game one was poor, I think he's gonna finish the year with close to 4,000 passing yards. I'm gonna give him 3,750.
I would take the under on that. I
Thirty-seven
don't.
fifty, man. I'm calling it now.
I don't know that Sark's offense will generate those kind of numbers for Arch. And I'll buy the rushing yards for Quintravion. We called him Trey for the longest time. His mama says his name is Quintravion, so that's what we call him.
That's what we call him.
Uh, that's what we call him. Yes, ma'am. I'll buy that. I think he's a good enough running back. He ran well against Ohio State. There's not 10 other Ohio States on the schedule.
No.
Um, that's going to be one of, if not the very best defense we played all season, and we were effective in the run against them. So to see what they're going to be able to do against lesser talented teams, I think he'll feast too.
Yeah.
I really do like Jack Injuries. I see him getting close to 800 yards. He's one of those Big Ten style tight ends, just a giant white guy with an attitude
Yeah.
who gets open and catches the ball and then beats somebody up before he gets tackled. Um, So I'm into that. I like that guy. I think he's going to do really well here. I think we're going to up his draft stock significantly.
I
And
think
I love
so.
that for the kid. 3,700 yards for Arch, though. Jeez, that's a lot.
I know. So, one of the reasons I put that number there is because I think he's going to have, over the next 3 games, 1,000 yards over the next 3 games.
I could see that, but you got to also remember that, we've got to go to Florida, we've got Oklahoma, we've got to go to Georgia. Sark is not going to leave that kid out there any longer than he needs to. So, is
This
is
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 this
Arch going to
fair.
get 1,000 yards in 6 quarters because he's out by half of all those games? I don't know.
Yeah.
If he plays the way that we want him to, he's not going to play long. You know what I mean? And we've got
Yeah.
capable backups behind him.
Oh,
Um,
absolutely.
yeah, yeah. So we're sitting pretty in the quarterback room. So I don't think there's any need to keep that leash very long at all. So yeah, I think Arch is going to play when Arch needs to play, and when Arch doesn't need to play, Arch is not going to play. I wouldn't be surprised against Sam Houston State if he doesn't play at all, because that team is just not very good. You might rest
They're
that.
bad.
They're bad. And have him go out there for a drive or two or something, like an NFL preseason game, and then pull him out, get everybody some quality playing time, see what you got with some of the lower stringers, and call it an afternoon. Um, yeah, that's why I don't think we'll see 3,700 yards from Arch. I can see this season 2,100. I think he can go off, and I think that
21. I'm gonna take the over.
I I just, it's hard right now because he needs to throw the ball better. And he
No,
can throw
that's
the
yeah.
ball better.
Yeah, we've
Uh,
seen it. Yeah.
but Willie. And the other thing you got to consider about Arch is that he's fast. He's fast as fuck, boy.
That boy
So
fast.
the kid doesn't always have to throw the ball down the field to win the game. He can break
No.
open and score on his legs as well. So I don't see. I could see him getting like 2,100 passing yards and like 800 rushing yards.
Okay. I will. 800's a lot.
800's a lot.
I'll
800's a
give it
lot.
600.
Maybe
I'll give it 600.
600 sounds a little safer now that you said that.
Yeah.
But
I'll give you 600.
but
Um.
that's another thing that's kind of bite into his passing yardage a little bit is the fact that he's quick. He's one of the fastest guys on the team.
Yeah. I'll buy that.
That's
I'll buy
why
that.
I can't get with 3,700. Boy, if he was his uncle, where he just can't move in the pocket at all, uh, maybe. But
Yeah.
especially with the running back room that we have, those guys are all real good. You want to feed them, and running wears down the defense. Rushing the ball wins games, except
Yeah.
against Ohio State. And so if you're in a drag out fight, you want to hammer them on the ground, beat them up with the defense, and Arch doesn't have to do a whole lot. So 3,700 yards for me seems real high.
Okay. Let's talk about just a few other players, man, before we get out of here.
Hmm?
Colin Simmons, man, over under for sacks.
Listen, he said in the offseason that he wanted the single season sack record. I don't have the stat in front of me. How many did he have against Ohio State?
None.
Zero. Zero.
Mm-hmm.
So, hey, buddy, love you big. Um, but big time players make big time plays in big games.
Yeah.
So we saw an example of someone who talked that cash money on the offseason and then backed it up in Tommy Two Chains down in Florida State, putting it on Alabama. I just don't think they can stop me, and then they couldn't.
Yeah.
So Simmons, he could get the sack record. I don't
I
care.
think he can still get it.
I don't care. I want him to be I want him to be an impact player. I want him to make a difference in the game. I don't care if
Yeah.
he gets 8 sacks in one game against San Jose State. Good on you, bud. But like NFL scouts are going to see that too and be like, okay, inferior competition, dismissed. What does he do against top tier protection?
Yeah.
And he disappeared against Ohio State. So, um,
I will,
I,
in his defense, he was taking on some double teams.
no,
Because
listen, I don't.
I mean, they knew he was coming,
Yeah,
right? Let's
yeah.
go ahead and slide, max protect. We don't want this guy fucking killing Julian Sand back here.
And I don't mean any of that to say that Colin Simmons is not a good player or that Ohio State is not a good defense. Matt Patricia was an NFL defensive coordinator and cooked up an NFL level defense in that game.
Yeah,
They were elite at disguising coverages. They were elite at applying pressure from unorthodox locations. It was fantastic. So uh, the offensive side of the ball, just the same. Yeah. I mean, but again, great players make great plays in big games.
yeah.
So, if you get double teamed, where's the other side?
Mm-hmm.
Where's your defensive tackles? Um, by
Where was
definition,
the NASCAR package? That's what I was trying to figure out.
where was Anthony Hill? Did he even suit
Why
up?
didn't we? He had a good game. Yeah, man, on that, we're going backwards, but it's okay. On the
Yeah,
play
you're
that they
right.
scored, that running touchdown, Anthony Hill, he hit the hole too early. I said, man, if he would
Too
have
fired
just
up.
too
Too
fired up, if
fired
he,
up. Not disciplined.
half
Just wanted to
half
get
a
in there and hit that
second,
hole
just
and beat the man. And there's a time for that, and that wasn't it. You got to come
mm-hmm.
with your arms and your brains against a team like that.
Yep.
So all that to say, let's circle it all the way back. Colin Simmons, as far as sacks over under, I don't care. It's a non-issue for me. What
Yep.
I want to see from him, I wouldn't take either side of that bet. What I want to see is him make a difference. And if you're getting double teamed, that's making a difference. But I need to see that contribution then come from somebody else.
Yeah. I still think I said this prior to the season starting. I think we're gonna have the best pass rush in the country. Right? Didn't really see it too much versus Ohio State. They also didn't drop Julian Sand back a whole bunch.
They really didn't.
Um, and when they did, they max protected him. So
And he got
uh,
the ball out quick.
and he got the ball out quick.
Not
And
as
he
quick
got
as
the ball
Arsenal,
out.
boy.
Yeah. Yeah, so we'll see. Again, I think we're still gonna finish the season with a top 3, top 5 level defense. They're just too good. 14 points in the shoe. Too good.
You take that every
Too
time.
damn good. You're
You
gonna
take
take
that
that every
every
time.
time. Every
Because
time.
if I told you that before the game started, man, Ohio State only scored 14 points, you think we won that
I'm
game.
betting the mortgage on
Yeah,
Texas. Yeah.
100%. Right? So you
Yeah.
think we win that game. So yeah.
Before
Good
we shut it
season.
down though, shout out to Grayson Littleton.
Hey,
That guy.
highest PFF grade out of all the players in that game. I
Now
think he graded out at an 87.5.
you're not gonna keep Jeremiah Smith completely locked down. We don't have Jade Barron, and it was the first game of the season and not the last.
Yeah. And he's a true
But that
freshman.
man, true freshman. That kid went to prom a
Yeah.
few months ago.
Yeah.
Outstanding.
He only gave up one catch for 4 yards
Yeah,
to Jeremiah Smith and one pass deflection. Yeah, I mean that kid is good.
that kid's good. You see, Jade threw the 7 jersey in his IG.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah. That kid is good, man.
Why is there a defensive back wearing 28? Come on, man. That's a running back number. But keep playing like that, and you'll earn that 7. So
Yeah. Yeah.
shout out to that guy.
He's gonna be. I'm excited about him.
Yep.
All right, man. Well, that's gonna do it for the Unbiased Room, man. We appreciate you joining us, man. I would definitely
Anytime, brother.
love to have you on again. Talk more Texas football. Don't forget to like, subscribe, leave a comment, tell a friend to tell a friend. Tell us how we doing.
Repost it. Show your friends. We'll be here. Love you, brother.
Love you too, brother. Welcome.
Okay.